What's the best way to learn English by yourself? This is a very common question students have, and that's what I will try to answer in this English lesson. If you don't know me very well, hi, how's it hanging? I'm Teacher Prix, and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know, every week there's a different lesson to help you on your journey to fluency. So I appreciate you being part of this community of English learners who want to be fluent. Now, the best way to learn English. Guys, this doesn't have to be a boring and lonely journey. Lonely, I am so lonely. It doesn't have to. Studying by yourself doesn't mean that it has to be boring and complicated. Actually, if you're studying alone, this should be smooth as possible. Of course, there will be some days that are going to be harder than others because we're human beings. Nothing stays the same all the time. We're always changing. However, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to feel like a sacrifice. Okay? If you follow the right study strategies, that is key, guys. Okay? You will be able to have a good time and find joy while you're learning English by yourself. And you will have some fun too. Not always. I can't promise it's going to be fun all the time. But overall, you will have a better feeling about your journey to fluency. Because one thing that I always tell my students is the journey continues. It never really ends. Even students who join my program, my academy, after they finish the program, they have to keep studying. Their journey is not over. Because this is a language. We are constantly improving and learning new information. We can't stop. Now, one thing that you need to understand if you want to learn English by yourself is, and this is a huge point, okay? I'll be giving you 5 practical ideas. But before that, I want to talk about this point, which is to develop a growth mindset. And what is that supposed to mean? There's a book by the Stanford psychologist called Carol Dweck, and the book is Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. It is a wonderful book. I have it. I have read it more than once because it is a wonderful tool for society. You should get this book. And in this book, after doing a thorough research, she comes up with a term called growth mindset, well, 2 terms actually, and a fixed mindset. And throughout the book and its chapters, she explains that people with a growth mindset, if they believe they can learn, if they believe they will improve, guess what? They will. Conversely, people who don't believe they can learn, people who don't think it's possible to learn, they will not improve. So you need to develop a growth mindset if you want to learn English by yourself or anything else. Actually, guys, developing a growth mindset will help you have a better life, smoother. I'm not saying you won't encounter challenges and hardships. They will happen. But with a growth mindset, you understand and you believe you can overcome them and improve yourself in the process. And this is essential if you want to learn by yourself, if you want to learn anything by yourself. And the best way to learn by yourself is by first working on the mind, because fluency starts in the mind. And if you have a fixed mindset, you can go to the best universities, you can have private teachers, you can buy the best online programs, you can travel and live abroad. Nothing is going to change because fixed mindset people struggle with the core point of learning, which is here. Now, you could be wondering, Priscilla, how do I develop and nourish a growth mindset? Because okay, I worked on developing a growth mindset. If I don't keep taking care of it, nourishing it, you will go back to your old ways. Okay, that is a very important thing. Now, there are 5 tips here. There are more, okay? But I want to make this video as objective as possible. I appreciate you being here. That means a lot to me, okay? So hit the like button. Now, the first thing, never stop learning. if you want to develop a growth mindset and nourish that growth mentality. And when I say never stop learning, I'm not even talking about English anymore. It's not just English. Never stop learning in life. And I am not talking about watching those really short videos on social media teaching you a hack, teaching you something quick. Hey, do this trick. No, 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 no. Complex things that will challenge your brain, that will instigate your critical thinking, that will make you feel like, wow, purpose. So never stop learning, because that will help you take care of your growth mindset. Number 2, model people who inspire you and who you resonate with. Very important. What is to model? Modeling is an NLP technique. I won't get into details of modeling. I can come back in another video to just cover modeling, because that goes beyond learning English. And here is an English channel. By the way, I intend to come here with different videos focusing on learning, performance, improving your mind. But that's not the focus of this video. Now, to model means to imitate, but not imitate like doing the same things, exactly the same things, but to understand what people you enjoy, people who inspire you do. How do they think? What is their internal system, their beliefs, their core values? And this has to be, they have to be people who you really resonate with, you click, there's a connection, because there are wonderful people from all over the world, but you will not feel drawn to everyone. That's life, okay? That's why there are so many teachers, so many people, so many coaches, so many inspiring people, because we have to find our tribes. That is natural, that is life. So find people who inspire you and read their books, watch their videos, follow their everyday life. If they have an Instagram account, try to follow them and see their everyday challenges and things they do, things they share, and try to model. Pay attention to their language. What do they say when they're facing a challenge? What is their usual vocabulary? Not just talking about English anymore, okay? Because this will help you nourish, increase your growth mindset. Track your progress and celebrate it, even if it's small. You are improving. At an intermediate level, some students feel really frustrated because they are not able to catch the change, to feel the change. Consequently, they feel like nothing is changing. However, one important point you need to realize here at this level is that the change is very small. You're not going to make huge changes at an intermediate and advanced level. Even me as a teacher, my changes are very small. Okay, that's really small. But I celebrate them. Oh, I use this expression. Woo! You go, girl. Oh, I'm practicing my speaking, which I do. And I remembered an idiom. I celebrate it. I feel really proud of myself. Very small things. So you need to track, you need to be organized. I talked about this week in another video. You need to know what you're doing, because this will help you nourish your growth mindset. You will see, I am growing, I am improving. And in the 5 tips, I'm going to give you more ideas to help you track that, okay? Number 4, watch your internal language. I will talk about that too, okay? But what is the internal language? What do you say about yourself, to yourself and to others? About your ability to learn, your appearance, your personality. What do you say about yourself, okay? What do you constantly repeat about your ability to speak English? That's your internal language. Be careful. If your internal language is toxic, your results will be even more toxic. And finally, set attainable goals. Growth mindset, don't be fooled. Growth mindset doesn't mean you're going to be happy all the time and do crazy things. Absolutely not. You need to be realistic with your goals. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult to develop a growth mindset, because growth mindset is not just a make me happy, Pollyanna attitude every day. Not at all. It's on the contrary. You follow realistic plans and you track your progress and you celebrate it because you're improving. You're not improving 100% in one single time, but you are, slowly but surely. Now, guys, in neurolinguistic programming, now getting back to the internal language, what you say to yourself. In NLP, I am a master practitioner of NLP, neurolinguistic programming. And in neurolinguistic programming, we study the power of words and some patterns and how they create belief systems in our brain, how they create patterns in our brain. And basically, guys, words in your language, in English, in any language, words, they can program our minds for success or for failure. It depends on what you're constantly repeating and repeating and repeating, because these words don't come alone. These words come with emotions. So the more you repeat them, the more you're programming your mind for fear, for anxiety, for feeling that you're not enough. And all of this will destroy a growth mindset, which is essential for learning anything in life, not just English. You will make mistakes. You will not speak perfectly. But you need to understand that this is part of the process. I make mistakes. If you watch my videos, you will find mistakes. But that doesn't change who I am. That doesn't change my ability to teach. That doesn't change the message I have to share, especially as a non-native speaker. So when learning English by yourself, pay attention to what you constantly repeat. You made a mistake. You watched a video, didn't understand everything. Ah, damn it, I never understand. I never understand. Is that what you want to program in your mind? I never understand. Really, is that the software, the system you want to install? Because repeat this with the emotion, strong frustration. Take a deep breath. You know what I like to say? I will understand more next time. That's okay. It was a little hard, but I will understand more next time. Okay, I didn't win, but sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. I'm learning. This is the growth mindset. I play tennis. I'm a beginner, okay? And I make a lot of mistakes when playing tennis. And every time I'm making mistakes, I start saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. I'm learning. Yay, I'm going to get better. And sometimes that happens and sometimes that doesn't. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, after I repeat this mantra, I start getting everything. No. And do I have some days when I feel frustrated? Yes. But I am very careful about the choice of words because they are powerful. And if you want to learn English by yourself, the best way to start is here. Now, guys, that being said, here are some recommendations more connected to studying, okay? Practice active retrieval. And here I have 3 ideas to help you with that. What is to do an active retrieval, okay? Basically, you will study your lessons, and I have other videos here on my channel where I give more detailed explanations of what to do. But it's connected to active retrieval, okay? Now, basically, guys, when you study by yourself, you will need to do a lot of active work, even if you don't have anyone to practice with you. Especially if you don't have anyone. I don't have anyone to correct my English, to practice with me. And yet, I am always practicing active learning, okay? And every time you receive information, your brain is not going to memorize everything. It's going to discard everything, most of what you learn. So when you're studying, you need to set a time every time you sit down to study. You study today, you study reading and vocabulary. You're finishing your practice, you need to practice this, okay? Or maybe at a different part of your day. No problems, as long as you try these techniques. So how does it work in action, okay? I read something in English, okay? I read something in English. Now, what can I do? I will practice retrieving the information because a lot of the content will be gone. And if I only read, that's nice, very, very good. I understand. And I believe you, you may understand. But do you want to retain more? So you're going to use the whiteboard technique. One example. What is the whiteboard technique? If you don't have a whiteboard, it's okay. I'm literally talking about the whiteboard, physical, okay? This is very good. You're going to get a small whiteboard marker and you're going to write down. What do I remember? And why do I like the whiteboard? It's very visual, okay? It's very visual and kinesthetic. You're there writing, moving, you're holding something. So you're creating stronger association. So I like the whiteboard. And you can erase after you finish. No problems. You don't need to have a lot of paper. So this is one very efficient strategy. And I will use the whiteboard to write the things I remember. That is active learning, active retrieval, okay? That's what I recommend when studying by yourself. This is the best way to learn by yourself. You're constantly checking and checking what I remember. Because if I only read, that's not testing what you remember. That's just reading, okay? So this is one idea. The questions technique is also something that I really love, and I do more than the whiteboard nowadays, okay? Because I gave my whiteboard to my brother, so I don't have a whiteboard anymore. So nowadays I do it on paper, okay, white paper, and in my notebook also, because I like to go back to my notes, which you can also do, okay? And I do the questions technique. I create questions. So when I'm doing a reading exercise that is too difficult, I start creating questions and answers. Questions and answers. And what I'm going to do is, I did this a lot at university. I would write a question. You know, let me do this here. I love these posters because they're bigger. You know, I love this. I love this, okay? I write the question here and the answer here. Then I read the question and I try to remember what the answer is. And I'm not just talking about vocabulary here. This works wonders for vocabulary, okay? Much better than the app, the flashcard app. Again, you're having more kinesthetic experience. You're touching, okay? You're using your physical memory because you're writing. And this will always strengthen your ability to learn. And I create the question connected to the reading. What information did I learn in the first paragraph? And then I give a tip, because sometimes it's a lot of information and I don't remember. And then I write the answer. When I finish reading the text, I do this while I'm reading. I think of the questions. I already start writing the question down, and then the possible answer. Nothing too long. It doesn't have to be something too long. And then as I finish the exercise and I go back to my questions. And then I retrieve the information. I look at the question. Okay, so... And then I start answering orally, okay? Orally, not in your mind, orally, okay? And then I look at the back and see the answer, and there you go. For vocabulary, this is very nice. For some grammar explanations, that is very nice. Work on that, okay? And the last one, which is my top one, become the teacher. I love this. I love doing this. That's why I have a YouTube channel. I'm always doing this technique, okay? Even with my babies in my academy, I have an online program. I create lessons based sometimes on what I'm studying. Of course, I make it easier, but I like to bring some elements of reading, listening, and becoming the teacher basically means, okay, I studied a grammar point. Very complicated. I don't know, something like passive voice, interactive speech, you name it, reported speech. What am I going to do? I'm going to become the teacher. So I'm going to record myself. You can record yourself, video. And then you will teach. Hi, everybody. I'm teacher Sylvia. I'm teacher Aline. I'm teacher Priscilla. I'm going to teach about recorded speech. Reported, not recorded. So what I remember, blah, 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 blah. And then you teach. Okay? Oh, I watched a video about how to develop a growth mindset. Again, now you're the teacher. Okay, so hi, my name is Priscilla. Today we'd like to talk about how to develop a growth mindset. Well, the first thing you need to do is, okay, you need to watch your language internally. What do you say to yourself? Huh? So I'm doing active reviewing, okay, active retrieval. This is wonderful. And you can do this with vocabulary, with grammar, with pronunciation, with reading activities, listening activities, and always speaking. Oh, but Priscilla, I have nobody to correct me. That's not the point of this lesson. The point of this lesson is to find the best ways for you to learn by yourself. Okay? Moving on. Master the cool and not so cool stuff. As I said at the beginning, the journey doesn't have to be boring and lonely. However, sometimes you will have to do things which are a little uncomfortable to you, which are not as pleasant to you. For example, I love talking about personal development. I do. I study about it. I read about it. I talk to my friends about it. It's easy. Piece of cake. Now, subjects connected to investing, economy, they're not so geography, they're not so interesting to me. But I study them. Just this week, I've been studying more about investments in English to improve my knowledge and to improve my English, learning some interesting expressions, some collocations, some verbs they prefer to use. So I'm learning interesting concepts in English based on subjects that are not so good. Why? Because to achieve fluency, you need to cover a variety of topics. You need to become fluent at talking about investment. You need to become fluent at talking about your health. You need to become fluent at talking about natural disasters, because these are different topics. And sometimes we focus too much on the subjects we like, and nothing wrong with that. And then there is a more complicated conversation about a subject we don't like so much, and we feel like we're not fluent. And it's true, you're not. So you need to dedicate some time to the not so cool stuff. And it's not only about subjects. This also applies to grammar, reading, writing, pronunciation. Because I imagine you don't like everything in English. I don't like writing. To be very honest, I don't like writing. What am I going to do? Okay? But I practice. Every week I write. Get a piece of paper, my notebook actually, and I write. And I correct. Okay, how do I correct? I like using Grammarly. I like using ChatGPT, and I get some comments because they are not perfect. I'm a teacher, I know. Okay, so that is a very important point for you to understand. Children do what they want. Adults do what they must. 3, success leaves footprints or clues. Guys, as someone who studies alone, you need to maximize your time. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you're a firefighter. Maybe you're a dentist. Maybe you're an architect, an engineer, a bus driver, Uber driver. You don't have so much time to plan everything. So you need to try to find study plans that will work for you, that will help you organize the English skills. Because without organization, it'll be nearly impossible to learn English the way you want to. So coming up with a plan by yourself can be difficult. So the best way to learn English by yourself is to follow a plan, is to buy an online program. Yes, these are the best ways. Oh, Priscilla, how about a private teacher? Depends on the teacher. You need to find a good teacher, okay? But I'm not against that. But maybe you don't have the money to invest in a private teacher. I understand they are expensive, okay? I give private tutoring, but it is more expensive. So what do you need to do? You need to follow a plan. You need to follow an organized plan that will tell you, hey, this is a good idea, do this, don't do this kind of reading practice, do this kind of listening practice, this vocabulary practice. You need to find a community. Online programs are great. That's why I have my academy. Why? Because everything is organized for you. There are meetings via Zoom, a few times a month. I have a study plan. I have my academy and my study plan. And it's a wonderful tool to help people organize the way they study. But is it mandatory? No. But success leaves footprints. Observe people who are successful in the area you want. You want to be fluent. Pay attention to what people who talk about that are telling you to do, because they know a little bit more, just a little. I'm not perfect. I am always open to, ideas. But because I work with this, I've been working with this for a long time, I know that without a plan, studying by yourself can be really difficult. Now, make sure to like this video, share it with a friend. It's almost done. I'm almost done. Okay, just 2 more things. And if you're interested, my study plan, in the description of this video, you can find the link. Now, participate in online discussion forums. Oh, I love this. I really do. I do. Okay? Why? Remember when I said that it doesn't have to be lonely and boring? Well, of course that it's great to talk to people. And there are some apps where you can talk to people. I'm not a big fan, okay, because I've heard so many stories of people that join these apps to talk and the conversations are very empty and they go in a really bad direction. So I personally don't like talking about them, okay? But what I do like talking about is online forums, discussions. They are written discussions, but you find such a great variety of real life situations. Oh, it's wonderful. I love reading those forums and sometimes I participate in them because you will see people, real people, posting real life dilemmas, problems, dreams, ideas, asking questions, giving recommendations, sharing their opinions. And this will be a wonderful way for you to see English in real life. So doing things in English instead of simply studying English will help you learn faster, especially by yourself. And I don't do this only with the forums. When I do meditation in English. When I am studying about things connected to my life, I love learning about health. I do that in English. I do that in my language as well, but I also do it in English because I live the language. I don't live abroad. I live in Brazil. I'm from Brazil. But I like to immerse in the English language. And this is a very fun way for you to see real life stories, and all of them in English. And here, test your skills. Now, guys, that's very important, okay? There are different ways to test your English alone. You can do online tests. They are never complete, okay? No test will be complete unless you have a speaking test. And even then, tests don't fully describe your level. That's not true, okay? Because sometimes you can do very poorly in tests and very well in real life. This is my example. My test results are not the best. But when it comes to real life, nail it, okay? Very, very important. So here, my recommendation is a monthly presentation. Every month, you're going to pick a subject and prepare a presentation about that subject. It can be a 3-minute presentation, 5-minute presentation, 10-minute presentation, but nothing longer than 10 minutes. Because the idea is for you to observe your progress. So every month you pick a subject, make a video, you don't share with anyone, it's your video diary, and then you make the presentation. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, you can prepare slides. Really take this seriously, okay? And then when you finish, you watch and pay attention. What words you chose? Did you choose a lot of basic vocabulary? Did you try to insert some expressions, some advanced verbs, adjectives, some idioms? Filler sounds, that's something for you to pay attention. The flow, did you break too much? Abruptly, try to manage that. Grammar, how was the grammar? Did you notice you were making some mistakes? Because when we watch, we are able to notice the mistakes. Pronunciation, did you get stuck pronouncing some word? Like I got stuck pronouncing some words. I'm going to work on them. That happens. So these are points for you to observe after your presentations. And then you look back at the previous presentation. Some changes. I spoke more. I felt a little more comfortable. And that's how you keep testing your skills. Because in real life, people will not be, it's is, not are. Don't do that. If they understand your message, they keep going. Of course, you need to work on mistakes. And I have other videos here where I talk about that. But my goal is to make you active, make you actively study the language. And speaking is a skill you must practice. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and share it with someone. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye.